Welcome to episode 15 in the KIPS Personal Trainer Application Podcast. My name is Tyler Valencia. I'm the president of KIPS and Kettlebell Concepts. In this episode, we discuss something that is on every fitness professional's mind. How do we adjust to the current issues facing the fitness industry, and where does it go from here? Guest Katie Cruz is the co-owner of Hit Logic, which has locations in Redmond and Tumalo, Oregon. Katie's a prime example of a gym owner that has adapted to each phase during the current pandemic and is continually pushing to offer a high quality workout experience for their members. Let's jump into the episode. Before jumping into the meat and potatoes of this episode, it's important to note that the topic we're going to discuss, it could vary from state to state, county to county. And so with the unique times that we're in, dealing with COVID-19 and how it's affecting the fitness industry, our guest today is a business owner and somebody that I realized adjusted quickly, not just with what she's doing now, which we're going to get to later, but also how when this all initially hit, the way that she adjusted. So Katie, what was your first thought when you heard that gyms were being forced to close down?
Initially, I was terrified. I think that my mind went straight to all of our members and how this would affect them.
Mm-hmm.
And then I realized, just take a deep breath, suck it up, and we'll handle it. So prior to the official shutdown, we're in Bend, Oregon. We had been doing everything that we could have done to protect our members and keep everybody safe. So 2 weeks prior to the official shutdown, we had reduced our class sizes to 6 people.
Wow.
And we had added classes. So we were doing 4 classes back to back to back to meet our members' needs. Everyone was staying there 6 feet apart. We had provided all the different types of sanitation products that they needed to clean their equipment down. And we had to change our programming. So I write all of the programming for our workouts. So instead of moving from exercise to exercise around the gym, everyone just held their own space and kept their equipment in that space. So no one was sharing anything. So we were doing that prior to the official shutdown. We were also doing 2 of our classes a day through a Facebook platform, a private Facebook group, and we were doing live classes. So those members who were uncomfortable to come into the gym could still stream our workouts live from home. Mm-hmm. So that's what we did prior to the shutdown. When the shutdown happened, we continued to do those live classes. We heard on a Monday that we had to shut down. By Monday evening, we had checked out all of our equipment to our members.
Wow.
So that they could do the workouts from home. Everyone came and picked up what they needed. And then that evening at 6:00, my husband and I did our first live shoot from home.
Wow.
In our bedroom. From then, we've become more sophisticated.
Mm-hmm.
Currently, we're doing 3 live workouts a day, and each workout is different. And then they remain on that Facebook page so that if you can't make a live class time, you can go back and watch any other class that we've ever done, or you can do the class from that day. So the videos are always on there, which is great. So yeah, initially we just knew that we had to stay 2 steps ahead of what was happening.
Oh, yeah.
Prior to the workout, we had started to build an app that would allow us to attract members from out of our area. Mm-hmm. So we asked one of our members who's been with us for 3 years. She no longer could come into the gym. Her mother-in-law just finished chemo and was living with them, so she didn't want to put her at risk. Mm-hmm. So we asked her to be kind of our guinea pig on this new app that we were developing. And we quickly realized that that's great, but that's not what our gym is about. Mm-hmm. Our gym is about community and being around other people and getting that, that feeling you get from going to the gym, being part of something. So we quickly thought we just have to increase our live classes. And we did that. And we initially, until this week, kept our live classes to just 1 person coaching and then 2 people doing the actual workout so that people could watch their form and stay engaged with that. And we were just using our coaching staff. But this week, with the weather up here in Oregon has turned nice and sunny, and we have 10 acres on our property. We brought our mats out to our property. We brought all of our machines. My husband built a pull-up rig,
Wow.
and now we have 6 people complete or in these workouts, and then someone's coaching. So our feedback, they love it. It's nice. We have 4 alpacas, and they just kind of walk around during the workouts, and that's really cool. And we're trying to provide a sense of normalcy and a routine to our members. And we love it because you can comment on the Facebook Live, and then you get that banter going that you would have in a normal class. And our workouts are hard. I mean, they're the hardest workouts, I can stand behind this, that you're probably ever going to do. So
Wow.
you're not only getting that workout, but you're also getting your sense of community.
Yeah. I would say that
Mm-hmm.
what you're currently doing with the outdoor workouts, that's what actually caught my eye and sparked me to reach out so that we could connect on this podcast episode about this topic, just because it was fascinating to see. And again, I got to point to, make sure if you're listening to the episode that you're checking to make sure you're staying within the regulations of whatever city, county you're in. And because each one of those are varying, we have some states that are already opening up some gyms. And so making sure you're not doing anything outside of the norm within your area. But what you guys are doing, it's great to see. And exactly what you said, you're staying 2 steps ahead. A question that popped up in my head when you were talking about that is, during this time, by chance, have you guys signed up any new members?
We have.
Wow.
We've lost a few,
Mm-hmm.
but I would say that, if we've lost 5 members, we've picked up 3 new members. So we have
Wow.
a discounted rate if you want to do the live workouts.
Mm-hmm.
But our community is so strong and everyone's so vetted that our members are still paying their regular, gym membership price. And we're working with those who can't. And then a few spouses have picked up. The wives always join first, and it takes a while
Mm-hmm.
for the husbands to jump on board. But
Mm-hmm.
we've had a few husbands join because they see their wives working out at home. And and hopefully we have a new website in development we haven't figured out what we're going to call it quite yet, but it will be a continuation of doing the workouts from home once we're able to reopen, so
Mm-hmm.
that anyone in anywhere, any city, any country can join our workouts. So we'll also offer that.
Awesome.
So that's in
Awesome.
development. Yeah.
Wow. With this, I'll say, change in the way that the business is being run, how did you guys come up with this is a very popular question I see on a lot of Facebook pages for group instructors, personal trainers. How did you guys come up with your rate, your adjusted rate for new members?
My husband and I just did our research and, looked at other offerings that are similar to what we're doing.
Mm-hmm.
And we just said, what is this worth to us? And we offer a premium type of workout. So we're asking for that premium type of rate.
Yeah.
We don't want to go in at $19 a month, because if I join something for $19 a month, then I think I get what I pay for. So I want something with a little more quality and a harder workout. And I guarantee you're not going to find a harder workout than this. So,
yeah. I mean, just from already what you've shared, you can hear all the steps you guys are taking to make sure this is a service that's professional and exactly what I've mentioned in other episodes about this being something that you can do after people are allowed to go back to whatever normal is. I don't want to just write that off and saying whatever normal is, but whatever people are comfortable with once they're allowed to go back to gyms and whatnot. This is a continued service that you guys are. You guys are expanding that even with a new website and all that kind of great stuff. So, one, kudos to you, and two,
thank you.
that innovation is amazing with that type of work. And what can you kind of run us through your setup that you have, whether you're using Zoom, Facebook Live, YouTube?
Right. So we've considered all of those, and we went with Facebook for a couple reasons. One, if you're doing Zoom, you get, you have a few options. You can see everybody who's doing the workout, and not everyone's comfortable with that. Or you can have it just on one person, like your coach or whomever's coaching the class. So we liked Facebook because it's more interactive. You can comment, you can get that immediate feedback. So a member can type a comment and then we can give it back, feedback to them right away. So we liked that, and that we liked that it stays on the page the whole time. Our members can jump on that page, share how they felt after that workout, and it just creates more of that community and keeps that going with the banter and checking in with each other. We also run weekly challenges on our page. We have accountability partners. I have background in macro planning and meal planning, so I'll share like nutrition tips on there. And just every week we try to think of something to add that's interesting to keep people coming back to the page and not getting bored. So we're just constantly mixing it up.
Yeah, it's great. It's great to hear that expansion right there. And it's not just, okay, I'm going to put up a workout, I'm going to post a workout that people can go do on their own. There's so many different levels to unpack on it, adding the nutrition into it, adding the challenges. It's creating more value, but also this is a standard that you guys are setting in terms of here's the quality that we're putting out, and exactly what you mentioned before with the price. This is a quality service. It's not just, like you mentioned, the $19 package. This is something that anybody is going to feel like, wow, this is something that I want to belong to, I want to invest in, and tell somebody about it, which anybody can essentially going across the country. Somebody in Florida, Mississippi, somebody can subscribe to this, which opens up the floodgates.
Right. We allow our members to invite a friend to the private page for the workouts.
Nice.
For a free month. And we've had people from Florida,
Wow.
Portland, not that far, but who love it and who have reached out and have joined after their month has expired. So once you come to one of our classes, you'll see like what we offer and why we're so great. When I created Hit Logic, my goal was to create a customer experience that I would want as an athlete going into a gym and provide the hardest workout where you leave feeling like you did enough. You don't need to do anything additional. And those are the two things that are always in my mind. And I program all of our workouts, and I've never done the same workout twice in over 3 years. So every workout is different. It's not like an arm day or a leg day or anything like that. It's a full body workout, attacking those 7 primal movements. So it's just a great workout. You get your butt kicked, and then you get to meet these great people on top of that. And it just creates this wonderful community that we have.
Oh yeah. Katie, can you expand on a little bit more for people listening to the episode on your type of gym, Hit Logic, and what the kind of the workouts are? Just, I know that people listening, they have so many, just a big variety of where they're coming from. And I want them to see that, wow, like this is what they're doing. Okay, I can potentially alter it for my audience.
Right. So our programming is broken up into 3 sections. So we have a pre, a hit, and a post. And the pre is a continuation of the warm up, and that can be a Tabata or an EMOM or an AMRAP typically. Then we have our hit training right in the middle, which is where we want you to work for a certain time period and then rest. So during that work period, you're getting your heart rate up as high as you can, and then recovering during your rest. Now, you're not always going to recover because everybody's recovery time is different. So your high intensity will look different than my high intensity. And then we don't prescribe the weight you need to use. You use the weight that's right for you. And then if there's any type of modification needed, we can modify for any movement. So we typically have 4 to 5 rounds of work within that hit section, and 4 to 5 different types of movements. And then we end with a post, which can be another AMRAP or another EMOM. And it's just lots of conditioning mixed in with weights. So we do a lot of functional training. People often ask us if we're CrossFit. We're not CrossFit. I did CrossFit for 3 years, and we don't do any of the Olympic lifts overhead. And like I said, we don't prescribe the weight that you're supposed to use. You can choose whichever weight is right for your body. We just want to keep our members safe and give them the best workout they're going to get.
Good info. With going back to your online workouts, you said that typically the people in the video they're coaches, and then are they the person that's doing the coaching? Are they manning the computer as well?
No. So we have a coach it's either, as of night now, it's either myself or my husband, and we're running the camera and the coaching and all the cues.
Mm-hmm.
And then either myself or another coach are doing the actual workout so that people can watch the video and make sure they're doing the right movements. And then, and then just, you know, inspire them to keep pushing, because we're not quitting and we're not stopping.
Mm-hmm.
And it's easy to do that at home when you're by yourself, or
Mm-hmm.
like your kid comes in the room, or your dog's in the way, or, oh, feeling a little tired. Maybe I'll, cut this one short. But so, when we opened it up to our members, this was funny. We actually just opened it up on Monday, and 6 people are out there, and, you start hearing comments like, wow, I guess I wasn't really working out as hard as I thought I was at home. So being in front of a camera is a whole new game. It's great
Mm-hmm.
because it forces people to work that much harder, thinking that everyone's watching them. So all the feedback we've gotten since having everyone at our property is that they love it. And they've actually said, like, when we reopen, they want to hopefully continue to be able to come out here and work out,
Mm-hmm.
because it's just such a peaceful setting. We're in a rural community. So we don't have those high dense populated areas, like say Portland or like the Bay Area in California or wherever
Mm-hmm.
you guys are at. But so we're pretty lucky in that way, that aspect. And yeah.
With the outdoor workouts right now
Mhm.
that you're doing, what are some of those precautions that you might take, just for one, from a business standpoint, but also to make sure that the members that are coming, that they feel comfortable too?
Great. So we're using our regular flooring mats that we have at our gym.
Mm-hmm.
So we sanitize those after every workout. We have members bring their own equipment,
Hmm.
and it's the equipment that we've loaned out to them. So they bring
Gotcha.
their own equipment. They have their designated mat that they're on. We've asked them to bring their own wipes to wipe down their equipment when they're done,
Mm-hmm.
their own water. Nobody's sharing any type of equipment. And then, like I said, they're, excuse me, at least 6 feet apart. After the workout, they wipe off whatever they've used, and then they leave. And then we go back and mop the mats down.
Mm-hmm.
We ask people if, you're not feeling well, or, you've had a cough or something, not to come out.
Yeah.
And everyone's really respectful of that. So just keeping our distance. A big adjustment we've had to make is that our community is really big on high fives and doing a break at the end of every workout. So
Mm-hmm.
we really miss that. So we do air high fives to try to
Mm-hmm.
build that, that bond and that camaraderie. So I think for me, like, that's what I miss the most, is being able to high five people. But maybe someday we'll get back to that. But just,
Mm-hmm.
again, like, just asking people, they bring their own equipment, they carry it in, they carry it out, and they bring their own wipes to wipe everything down.
Yeah. Yeah. I
Hmm.
love these precautions and all the steps you're taking to ensure, one, you're protecting yourself as a business. I know that you would not want to put yourself in a position where somebody did get sick potentially and
Hmm.
want to feel that type of, um, them coming to it was from these classes. And then also on their aspect, you want to make sure that your members feel
Right.
comfortable and they feel safe. And all these steps, it might sound like overkill to some people that are listening, but these are the things that, here's a way that you can adjust to what's going on and continue to teach classes, effective classes, quality classes. I mean, these are classes you're doing with equipment. Here's things that you're doing, extra steps. I
Hmm.
like how you mentioned that. One, this program sounds great, that you loaned out the equipment immediately to the members, and they're bringing it and they're taking it home. So there's no interchange. You're not having to worry about, oh, okay, what is their home situation like? What steps what kind of precautions have they taken? And so all those steps along the path create a path to opening up like this or having a workout like this. And I think that that's what some people need to start thinking about, is what are those precautions, and then making sure that you take one step further, in my opinion. That's just my
Right.
opinion on that.
Well, in looking at reopening, we have decided to replace all of our flooring in our gyms.
Mm-hmm.
So we'll have brand new flooring. We're moving a lot of furniture out that, was like, we have couches for people to come in and sit if they're waiting for the next class, but we're going to get rid of those couches because we don't want people hanging or lingering around. We're also going to ask people to continue to bring their own equipment in, and we're going to have our programming in a way where people, like right before we close, they just stay in their own spots and there's no sharing of equipment. So our workouts, some of the movements we won't be able to do, like we're not going to be able to do pull-ups for a while or wall balls because those require people to move to that certain section. So we're going to go back to how we were before we had to officially close, back to our spacing, back to having each member have their own area. We're going to have members bring their own yoga mats. We're no longer providing yoga mats, as well as towels. So we're going to require each member to have a towel. And because of the lack of sanitation products we're able to find, I'm sure everyone's running into this.
Mm-hmm.
So we're going to have like spray bottles with towels, and then bring your own towel, and then you can spray your equipment off and then take your towel home with you. So
Good stuff. Good stuff.
mm-hmm. Yeah.
With all of these online options that you're creating, is there a practice period or any type of step that you do to see what it looks like on the member's perspective? I know you mentioned that you did a demo earlier with somebody, but with any of the stuff with the Facebook Live or anything like that?
For this, no, we just dove in, like
Mhm.
cannonballed off the deep end and went for it.
Yeah. I think a lot
Yeah.
of business owners had to do that.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
With how
I mean,
quickly
there's
you can.
no, right. Like none of us has probably ever faced something like this. There's no
Yeah.
handbook out there.
Mm-hmm.
So we just, again, went back to that, our core beliefs of what type of experience do we want to give people?
Mm-hmm.
And I look at it like, what would I want as a gym member? And then how can we give them the best workout in this situation? And that's what we went with. And,
Yeah.
my husband is my business partner, and he's one of the smartest people I've ever met. He's, brilliant with marketing.
Mm-hmm.
And so we'll bounce ideas off each other, and I'm like the more like, this is what I want to give our members. How can we do this? And then he
Mm-hmm.
takes it from that business perspective. And then we end up like, with this joint effort and this great marriage of these ideas. And somehow we're just staying 2 steps ahead of everything.
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
Mm-hmm.
And I think that, with there not being a handbook out there and testing things out, I'm sure that you guys are in the same boat. If you make an adjustment and it's not working, I'm sure you guys would be also willing to take a step back and then reassess how things are going. It's been great to hear so far with all these different items, how they're being successfully implemented, and also all the things you're adding on top of it. But I think that that's also the mindset that some people need to think about is, how can I be adaptable to the situation? How can I be willing to take a risk in it and put myself out there as well?
Yeah. So, we have had a few trial and errors. We filmed from our house for a little bit, and then the weather up here it was too cold and too windy. So then we decided to move back to the gym. And my instinct was, I wasn't really quite sure. Like at first I said, no, we can't be at the gym. We can't be at the gym. We went back to the gym and did a few workouts there. And then we got a little, I guess, too confident and invited more people in. And at one point we were back to like 6 people in the gym, and it didn't feel right. So we said no more at the gym. We just moved back to our house and dropped it back down to 2 people on film. And then since the weather's opening up, now we're outside at our property, but we decided just to stay out of the gym, because we're right next door to a coffee shop. So people would walk by and they don't know if you've never worked out in a gym, you don't know,
Mhm.
what they're doing, and that it can be safe. So we were just worried about getting, negative community feedback, and our
Yeah.
community is so small. So we did that for a few days, and then we said, no, we're going back to the house. So, we did make a mistake there, and we just learned from it.
Hmm.
And I think, thinking back, I think that's pretty much the only thing that we probably shouldn't have done right away. I think that being here and being outside, and everyone's 6 feet apart, and we're following all of our state's rules, that, everyone's loving it.
Yeah. Yeah.
So, mhm.
It's good that I'll say that you tested it, you looked at the bigger picture of it too.
Yeah.
And when people start going back to gyms, exactly how you mentioned, you wouldn't want the community to think that you were breaking the rules or anything along those lines. Seeing that you guys are part of the community as a whole. You're offering a service that it's not just a workout; it's a community within it.
Right. And I know my biggest worries, I'm really good at worrying, was that I didn't want to do anything that was socially irresponsible.
Yeah.
And I felt that at that point that was socially irresponsible, from an outsider looking in.
Hmm.
And so that's also been a big issue for us, is this socially responsible? And a lot of our membership base are ER nurses. We have a few doctors, some ICU nurses, and anytime we're going to try something new, that's who we reach out to. Like, is this safe? Are we following the proper guidelines? Are we providing enough distance? Is there anything we could be doing in addition to what we're doing? So we have those people to bounce our ideas off of, and that's super helpful.
Oh, I bet. I bet.
Hmm.
With the whole situation and um, what normal was before, can you share with us what your daily routine looks like now? I think that has been, whenever I talk with somebody now, I say, what is my routine? And I talk about the importance of keeping that routine, just for mental health aspects. And what is your routine now that I'm sure there's a lot of pieces in there, I mean, online and also the group stuff. Can you share with us what that looks like?
Sure. People ask me how much my life has changed, and
Yeah.
honestly, it's become busier.
Oh, wow.
We are not running as many classes, but with the online platform, it requires a lot of being on.
Hmm.
So I used to be a teacher, and I always equate to coaching a class like going through parent teacher conferences where you're constantly talking and you're providing support and you're cheering for people. And at the end of each class, my throat is sore. So I think that the daily routine is that we have a 9:15 class. I take that class and my husband coaches it.
Hmm.
And then we have a noon class that I coach, and then my husband is in that class along with our members. And then we have a 4 o'clock class that he coaches. I'm kind of there for backup, taking pictures, um, doing the social media side.
Hmm.
And yeah, it's a lot of work, but it's our passion. I've always said that my dream job would be able to work out all day, and during this pandemic, I've actually gotten that. So that's been really cool. Um, at one point, another coach and myself were doing 2, maybe 3 workouts a day, just because we didn't have our membership base to pull from,
Hmm.
and so that can be physically demanding. Um, but you have to hustle. If you're going to make it, you have to
Yeah.
hustle, you have to work hard, you have to put yourself out there. And that's what we've done, and it's been successful. And I'm super proud of my team and my husband, and how we've been successful during this time.
Yeah, definitely,
Hmm.
definitely. With the pandemic and how it's affected the fitness industry, that has been my worry as somebody that shares or develops education and looking at the industry as a whole. Of course, I hope that things go back to normal-ish soon, but the industry, the trainers, the group exercise instructors, the gym owners, the small business gym owners, it's an unknown, and so that's where my thoughts have been. And so to hear and see firsthand all these steps that you're taking is great to see, and that's kind of what takes me to the podcast takeaway now. Yeah, takeaways are, what would you, I'll say advice wise, what are the 2 best tips you can give for gym owners struggling to make any adjustments?
Gosh, I would say you have to be forward thinking,
Hmm.
and y- y- I don't think there's going to be a going back to normal. So you have to create your new normal,
Hmm.
and what that looks like. I think that people have to get online.
Hmm.
Some of your membership base will feel comfortable coming back to your physical gym, but a lot of people aren't ready yet. So definitely you need some type of online presence. And then again, I would just say take a step back and put yourself in your member's shoes, and what would you want out of your gym? And
Yeah.
that's what you have to give people.
Yeah.
Hmm.
I think that those worries too. And do you guys, prior to even doing the online stuff, did you guys do or have any type of background in IT, or were you guys familiar with computer work or online, anything, that kind of stuff?
My husband is, yes. Me, no. My background is in teaching. But it's funny how we started. A little funny story. I know we're towards the end here,
That's
but
okay.
one of our coaches was, when all of this started happening and Corona was there, and we weren't shut down yet, but California had been shut down and we knew we were probably coming next. She was about 6 weeks postpartum and was just getting back to working out. And she would go into, we have 2 locations. So she would go into our other location by herself and work out. She did that a few times, and she reached out to me and she's like, Katie, I just, I can't find the motivation to do it on my own. And I said, well, I'm going to work out at 4:00. I'll take my phone and I'll FaceTime you. So that's kind of how it started. Was I brought my phone to the workout floor. I FaceTimed her and set her up right behind me. And we talked to her as if she was in the class, and she did the whole class with us over FaceTime.
Awesome.
So that right there signaled to my husband and I, like, we should be doing this for other people. So that's when we implemented the 2 live workouts a day prior to being totally shut down. So, it's just thinking ahead, and that think about your membership base and the demographics. And some people you're going to have who are more inclined to be on their electronics and prefer that online platform. And then you're going to have a different demographic, excuse me, that would rather be in the gym space. They don't want to use the electronic side. So I think that you have to find a marriage for both of those, and, offer both of those to your members.
Yeah, I dig it. I dig it a lot. Katie, can you share with us your social media handles and all that kind of good stuff?
Sure. So we have 2 Facebook pages. We have HitLogic Tumalo and HitLogic Redmond, and then one Instagram, which is @HitLogic. I also have a page where I do macro and meal planning, and it's Katie Cruz _ macro planner. So I do that on the side for people who are interested in, how do you pair nutrition with this type of workout?
Yeah. Really great stuff. Again, I just want to share for the listeners, the reason why this episode came together was scrolling through Facebook, and I saw Katie's post of what she's doing right now. And I'd seen even before, like when it was just starting, the adjustments that she was making. And this is somebody that is actively taking an approach to keeping their business running. There are so many fitness professionals out there that are, okay, what's going to go next? What's going to happen next? And instead of just waiting, she's being proactive about it. Great stuff, Katie. I really appreciate you taking the time, sharing the in-depth stuff that listeners can apply right now.
Thanks, Tyler. I appreciate you having me on.